So, I wanted to share something really cool with you about energy. And this was through a vision that I was given from my spirit team, the Wisdom Keepers. And if you don't know who the Wisdom Keepers are, they are a 12th dimensional spirit team, a light team that I work with that reside in the 12th dimension, is what they've told me. And they are a collective energy of multiple different types of frequencies and what we would call different souls. So there's some Octarians, there's some Lemurians, there's some like Syrians, there's different beings from different star systems that gather as like a council of light, and they share wisdom with one another. They share the wisdom of the universe. So they keep wisdom. It's literally what they do. They are the wisdom keepers. And so when I work with them, they give me insights and understanding about what is taking place on an energetic level within the entire universe, not just like Earth. Like I often get messages and insights, like they'll give me a bird's eye view, I guess is what you would say, of the collective energy. So when I look into the energy field, I don't necessarily always see what is taking place here on the linear level. I see into the parallel and linear. So I see kind of both versions of it from their higher perspective and then our perspective. And as kind of a volunteer that has come to Earth to help with the ascension and the awakening and helping the frequency shift here on Earth for humans to step more in alignment with their soul evolution and consciousness, and bringing in more of the Christ consciousness, more love and unity onto Earth. I have worked with them, and, they tell me they've been with me for, you know, millions to billions years. I don't know. Compared to my earthly light, I will never know. But I have been told, and I recently met with an intuitive who confirmed for me that I've worked with this team for many lifetimes, many dimensions. This team doesn't just work with Earth either, it works with other planetary systems. So when there's something going on within a part of the universe, that there's like a shift taking place here, or there's a movement of some kind in the energy field, they kind of go and support and then report back to one another what is taking place, over in the Pleiadian realm. This is taking place over in the Syrian realm, over in the Lemurian, the Lyran, over on Earth. They come together from these different frequencies to communicate what is happening. And so the other night, I had this really interesting experience. And this is, I'm a very like, because I do connect with them, I'm constantly thinking about things outside of the human perspective. And I'm always wanting to figure out, how can I help explain something from a higher dimensional way? And so some of my teachings might go straight over your head, but some of them might kind of penetrate into your energy field, and then over time you might come to understand what was being said. A lot of times it's just meant to help you awaken something, and not necessarily something that you have to like mentally capture and understand. So the frequency in which they speak through me is a high frequency that awakens part of you and your DNA and the collective energy. So, and the reason this is coming up for me is I was meeting with a client yesterday, and we were talking about energy and how when we walk into a room, or we're in a setting, or we're around certain people, there is a certain frequency and energy about that setting or that person or whatever that might be. And understanding this on a higher perspective can maybe give us some clarity of why things happen the way they do, or why we might feel something the way we feel, or why um we'll have like why we need to do energy work, really is what it kind of comes down to. Well, um this particular client was talking about picking up on things in her workplace. We were talking about like how other people's energy were it was impacting her and how her energy was impacting them. And I was really trying to coach her in how to manage her energy in this setting. And what came back to my mind was a vision that my spirit team gave me the night before that. So 2 nights ago, I was in a deep meditation state and I was communicating with the wisdom keepers. And I was talking to them about the human physical form shifting and changing into light bodies as we move into higher frequency, and how that is going to impact us as that takes place. And they were describing to me that humanity is becoming more and more sensitive as they do this, because it's becoming less and less dense in a form of like noticing shifts, subtle shifts that are taking place. This is why, as we continue to ascend, that telepathy is going to become more of a present part of our life. Like, we're going to be able to sense and feel and hear like people's thoughts a little bit more. And that's why healing ourselves, healing our thoughts, healing the way we think, what we're saying to ourselves and about other people is like really highly important, because we are creating and manifesting our reality as we continue to awaken and ascend. But as the density of earth kind of lowers and the frequency rises of into a higher connection with source energy, with a Christ-like consciousness, we will become more and more aware and sensitive to energy fields. And so I don't know if this is going to help you in or not, but I just thought it was a really cool example that my spirit team gave me. So I was asking them about their physical form, and they have given me visions. And I know I'm not the only person that has seen this, but they've given me visions of what they look like in their realm and their dimension. And I've had some like astro travel with them, where I've gone into this planetary system and I've met with them and I've seen them. I have had some really cool experiences with them. And they always appear as like this crystalline blue energy, like this body that is very alien like. I would say they're very tall beings, like very tall. Um so I think probably the shortest one would be like a 6 foot, and then it goes really high above that. So these are very large beings. They are blue, and they are, the way that I would describe them in my mind, is sparkly. They're like if you poured glitter on blue, on a like a really light blue, like an ocean blue that's really clear, like, and have sparkles on it, that like the sun glistening on it, that is what it looks like to me. It's like these blue light bodies, but they're not solid. They're like translucent. They're capable to be seen through. And so I was asking them particularly about these bodies and if humans will be moving into a body like that. And they do say that we will eventually, but it's going to be a while from now. It's not going to be like tomorrow or next year or even 100 years from now. This is going to be thousands of years down the road from where we currently are as a human race. But they have described themselves as once having this kind of a dense body, moving into a higher frequency and holding more light, which has transformed them into this light body and this blue being. And what's interesting is I was talking to them about this blue body that I was seeing, and I was asking them to like, we were communicating about energy, and I was asking them to help me understand how someone else's energy impacts my energy, how I can feel their energy or how they can feel my energy, and how as we ascend, energy is going to become more important, and we're going to feel more and more like telepathic communication. We're going to sense and feel other people's emotions more, and we're going to like, our physical body is going to become lighter and lighter and lighter as well. And so they gave me this really cool example. And what they started to do, like, I was actually talking to one particular being who serves on my spirit team that is like a guide for me. His name is Hanakai, is what I call him. I don't know if that's what he calls himself, but I was talking to Hanakai, and he was like, well, let me just show you what it's like. And so he said, because you are dense, you see me in this form. You see through the logical human understanding of density. So you are creating an illusion in your mind of what I really look like. But the reality of it is that I don't look like that at all. And he began to disintegrate into like just pure light energy, into this very marvelous, like very, I don't even know if there's a blue color to describe it here on earth. There is like a, I don't, there's, it's like a, what's going in my mind right now is like a pinkish, purplish, bluish. It's like a really faint blue rainbow color. And I don't think I can pick it up fully in my consciousness because we don't have that color here. And as I was watching him disintegrate into this form, he was explaining to me that is his true form, that he just presents as a dense form when he communicates with me so that I can have awareness that I'm talking to somebody instead of just thinking I'm talking energy, which is what I'm doing. That's what we're always, I'm talking energy now. I'm talking your energy. I'm energy. This computer's energy. This microphone's energy. It's all energy. It's just combined into a dense energy form so it looks and feels solid. And so he began to take a step towards me, and what he did was he started to walk towards my body, and he started to walk through my body. And when he took a step inside of, like, he took a step in my body, I could feel his energy shift into my body. Like, even now, as I talk about it, I can have this. I don't know if he's doing it now or if I just remembering it, but I felt this energy shift into my body, and then he withdrew it. And I felt this like coming out and coming in. And then as he came out, I felt this like open, like it's almost like it left and then it came back, and then it left and it came back, and then he like walked all the way through me, and then he walked all the way back through me. And he said, this is how energy works. This is the collective consciousness. This is how everything is one. So when you are here on earth, you see this as separate. But when you come here, when you're back into your original form, or if you're in the planetary system that you maybe reside in when you're not a human, this is what it's like for you. So this is why unity consciousness and love is part of the ascension and moving into Christ-like consciousness, but it's also um, a collective awareness of all is one thing, that everything is source energy God, that everything is one, and there literally is no separation from God because everything's God. It's just God in different forms presenting itself. So it's almost like my body, everything's my body, but my fingers like are different parts of my body. That is what Christ, that's what God is. That's what source is. And so each part of these frequencies are different parts of God's body. And we are what you might say in a religion form. Like I know that this is in the Bible, and I also remember talking about it in the church setting. We are the body of Christ. We are literally source energy God expanded into different realms, into different forms, into different densities. And we, just because we're in a body, doesn't mean that we're any less impacted or affected by the consciousness of everything else. We are just less aware of it than the other frequencies and higher dimensions are aware of their connection with source. So, why is this important to know? Is because as we continue to shift in the higher consciousness, as we continue to awaken, this is going to become more and more prominent for us, and we're going to become more and more sensitive to energy. And so being able to understand this is going to give you clarity on why you might feel some way, why energy work is important, and paying attention to what is your energy and what somebody else's energy is going to be will help you navigate through some difficult times. I have, in the last 24 hours, I kind of got in this loop. I was watching some of the news and what was going on in the world, and I just was crying and grieving last night and pleading and like what do we do, God? What do we do to stop this? And I just kept hearing, you are the change. You are the change. Like, you don't do anything outside of you, it's all within you. And it's hard for me because, as a higher conscious thinker and one that connects with other dimensions, I can see it from their perspective. I 100% understand. Yeah, okay, yeah, I'm the change. Everything I do within me changes things outside of me. But from this angle, from this level, from the linear understanding, that's really difficult because it's like, how in the flip is my healing going to change something out there? But it will. And we have to remember that as we continue to shift into higher consciousness, that it is vital that we are doing our inner healing, our energy work, and we're stepping more into alignment for love for ourselves so that we can radiate that into the world around us.